What up? Can you guys hear me? No one can hear me? Hey, there we are. I like talking to you guys and you can't see my face yet. It's like Wizard of Oz type deal. The man behind the curtain. I might do this more often. Just come on here with a picture on the screen. You can't see me. We'll just leave it like this. All right, fine. I'll take it down. How's this? Is that better? What's up, everybody? How's your Friday? You guys out of work yet? What are we doing? It's 3:35 here in the East. Let me know what you guys are up to today. Are you at the racetrack? Are you going to the racetrack? Let me know. I've been sitting here working on race results. So I figured if I'm going to sit here, I might as well turn the camera on, see what you guys are up to. I don't have I still have the hurricane helmet back here. Don't worry. It's still here. Kevin asked if you didn't see. I don't know if you guys are seeing all of these chat messages. My dad, this is actually a pit crew helmet, and my dad painted for me. Anyway, so I was working on race results. So I figured I could just turn the camera on and we'll see what you guys are up to. I've been a big slacker. With the ASCS stuff going to World Racing Group ownership, they changed the website. So I had to change how I do the results, and I just hadn't gotten to it yet. So today we've started really hammering on the 2024 results. So I'm going to keep working on the results, and then we'll just chat here for a little while. USA Nationals underway. They obviously didn't run last night because of track issues, because of all the weather. Yeah. So that's going on. We'll have 360 Nationals later. We'll have the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars at Peevely. Lots of other things going on. I have seen all of the comments about Ricky Weiss. I'm not, like, this is a situation where, like, you don't get involved until there is, like, something to get involved with. If you want the TMZ type rumory, just nastiness, there are other places to go for that. I don't know if you guys know me or not, but that's not really something I've involved myself in the past. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I'm not going to, we're not going to comment on that stuff until there's more information. It's one thing to, like, speculate and talk about rumors when it's like ride swapping or series things or track stuff. But, like, when it involves crimes and law enforcement and things like that, you're not going to get me to do those types of things. So we'll just wait for things to shake out a little bit here, and we'll go from there. So no, I will not be diving deep into Ricky Weiss's criminal situation right now. But yes, I've seen all the same things you've seen. I've seen the police report stuff. I've seen all the same things you've seen. So I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring it. I'm not ignoring it, but we'll just see how that plays out. Anyway, so where is everybody at right now? Drop your location in the chat. We are currently live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I doubt anybody's watching on Twitch, but if they are, great, welcome. The Twitch is a very new thing. We've only used it once before. But we are live over on Twitch as well, if that's something you're into. That's a place you like to hang out. If you were curious what I'm talking about in terms of race results, dirttracker.com, I have an entire analytics section if you don't know. We've got both World of Outlaws Series, Lucas, High Limit, all three USAC divisions. We've got Chili Bowl. We've got Eldora special events. We got Extreme Midgets, all that stuff over there. We are currently at 2,030 races in the database. A lot of the information in the analytics section is available for free. There is a paid thing if that's what you're into. If you're not, that's cool too, but lots of free stuff in there. Driver pages, race results, some stats. You can check all that stuff out. Dirt Tracker, click the analytics button in the top, or just go to dirttracker.com/analytics. Also, if you're here, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're other places, follow. That'd be great. We also have merch going on right now, which I'm sure you can see on the screen. The new Sprint Car t-shirts are in stock, shop.dirttracker.com. You can also get stickers. I have daily show stickers. Close up. And we also have these big circle joints like that. So you can grab those as well. Let's see. Lots of things in the chat that I'm missing here. This is a decent thing to do. I should do this. This is like very streamer, make some money. Like, don't come on camera until you guys have given me a certain amount of money. I kind of like that idea. What were you expecting? I'm curious about this with the lack of updates. Like they're in there trying their asses off. It's like literally minute by minute trying to see if they can get that thing going. I mean, short of playing radio traffic and you getting to see text messages back and forth between the event staff, I'm not really sure. Can it be anybody other than David Gravel? I mean, who else has been winning anything lately? I'm not quite sure how Bill runs the Sprint Car Ratings website. I'm assuming he's putting those in like a little bit at a time by himself. I think he's the only one that is involved in that website. I don't really know how Bill sleeps because he has an insane amount of information in his site. I don't believe it's a computer program. You can automate that stuff. It is absolutely possible to do that. I haven't automated mine to that point because I like to have a little bit more control over it and just make sure that there aren't errors. But my assumption is that Bill is just entering those races kind of a race at a time. Looks like we've got 19 cars signed in so far at Peevely. An interesting mix of guys here so far. Noah Gass. Larson signed in at Peevely. Okay. So Larson back from the Italian vacation. Brad Sweet also there. That one surprises me a little bit. I figured Brad would not be racing. That's an interesting one. This is a great point from Dirt Track Pools. And if you're not playing a pool and you would like to, Dirt Track Pools, very good place to do that. Check out the Dirt Track Pools Twitter account. He does regular stuff at Dirt Track Pools. Right now, actually running a Peevely pool if you would like to participate. Everybody say hi to Paul. Paul, I wouldn't be able to do half of the things that I do without Paul. Paul is one of my favorite people in dirt racing. If you see Paul at a racetrack, say hi to Paul. Paul does incredible work. Yeah, T-Maz on the entry list tonight. It'll be interesting. See what T-Maz can do. Anthony says I should try Friday night Q&As. Is this not a Friday night Q&A? Questions about the field at Merritt. I don't know who's at Merritt. Let's see. Looks like lots of regional guys. Rusty Schlenk, Colin Shipley, Thurlby, Unzicker. We've got 21 so far for the wood tick at Merritt. They've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divisions running there. .360 Nationals are on Dirt Vision. You have to have, I believe, the .360 Nationals and the .410 Nationals. You have to have the year-long Dirt Vision pass. The monthly Dirt Vision pass, I don't think gets you the Knoxville Nationals, either one. I think if you have just the monthly, you have to pay for those on their own. Taco Joe wants to know if the Ironman is on Flow or Dirt Vision. It is on Dirt Vision. The Ironman is a World of Outlaws race. All World of Outlaws races, World Racing Group associated racing is on Dirt Vision because World Racing Group owns Dirt Vision. And if you guys are curious about what your streaming options are, I have a part of the website is that for part of the website for that as well. dirttracker.com/watch tonight. Everything you want to know. Oh, and an update as well about that. A bunch of people have asked for start times. A start time column has been added to the Watch Tonight page, and where available, Mom is adding start times. So you can see a few things have start times right now over at dirttracker.com/watch tonight. What about Eldora? World Racing Group associated things at Eldora are on Dirt Vision. Eldora things that are not on Dirt Vision are not World Racing Group associated. Like the Dirt Late Model Dream and the World 100 are Dirt Car sanctioned. That does not mean that they are associated with World Racing Group. Dirt Car officials help out. It's under Dirt Car insurance. You have to be a Dirt Car member to participate. But those events are owned by Eldora, and Eldora-owned events will be on Flow Racing, but not World Racing Group events. That's why when you see like Let's Race 2, for example, you'll have USAC Sprint Cars on Flow, World of Outlaws Sprint Cars on Dirt Vision. Tyler wants to know who is driving the Rose 6 for the Knoxville Nationals. I have no idea. Is it not Kelby Watt? Let's see if there are any details about that. Kelby Watt is listed as in a 6 car on the Knoxville website currently. So I would assume that that's going to be the case. Also, Tyler, thank you for the $2. Much appreciated. Bert wants to know if I will ever go to races and do a live show. I probably will not do that. I've had people ask me to do that, including at Knoxville. Not something I'm super interested in doing. I'm not opposed to going to races, but having spent almost 20 years going to 100 races a year, this is like my throttle back time. So yeah, probably won't catch me doing live shows at a racetrack. If I go to a racetrack, I'll be there to take photos and hang out like I did earlier this year. By the way, I have to show you guys something. So I've been really terrible about responding to some emails, some Facebook messages. Life's been really busy lately, but I spent today responding to a bunch of stuff. And I have to show you guys. So there's a guy, Steve McKenzie, whose son just started racing in Tennessee. And they put my logo on their race car. But I don't know how. Let me see if I can figure out how to show you guys this. If I can I drag this over here? Here, we'll do this. We'll just have to create a new overlay. What size is this? Hold, please. I'm in Facebook and Photoshop trying to make this happen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Where did it go? There it is. Uploading. All right, check this out. What do we think about this? This is Jonathan McKenzie. He's been racing at I-75 in a crate car. That's pretty badass. Big fan. What do we think? I like it. Everybody say hi to Chase Rodman. Chase wants to know, was last night's race in Knoxville in the 64 also the 64th car that Hunter Schuerenberg has driven in 2024? I believe it is. Nobody has more sprint car rides than does Hunter Schuerenberg. The question I have about Hunter Schuerenberg and all these rides, does he have seats for all of these rides, or is he taking the same seat? And just like when he leaves the racetrack at night, he just brings a seat with him so he can put it in the next car. Anyway, everybody say hi to Chase. Follow or go subscribe to Chase's YouTube channel as well. Chase doing all sorts of fun sprint car things on top of his duties as the high limit announcer. So if you're going to go to a high limit race anytime soon, you will hear Chase's voice. Or if you watch on Flow Racing, Chase will be on there. Fun fact, Chase's dad, I don't know if you know this, also a great race car driver, Craig Rodman. Tanner Holmes is not one of the names that I have heard racing with the Outlaws in 2025. That is not, I'm not saying that it's not happening. Very much could be happening. I have not spoken with Tanner about this specifically, but the names that I was referring to recently, Tanner was not on that list. Ben says I should come to more late model shows. To be fair, the one real race weekend I went to this year was a split high limit Lucas show. I've been talking a lot of late model stuff lately too. I catch hell about, oh, I'm a sprint car guy or whatever. But we've been talking a lot of late model stuff here lately. You know what I should do is open Division and see what's happening at Cedar Lake. But I have to mute it so you guys can't hear it because I don't want Dunlap to be mad at me. Oh, we are into heat races. Tyler Bruning leading heat race number 2 over Brent Larson currently. Ricky Thornton Jr., P3. I may not leave this up, though, because I'm a little worried about my bandwidth. Yeah, Christopher says a little dry and dusty. You'll have that for afternoon races. Faux show. How much does a top 410 engine cost? A lot. 60, 65, $70,000. A lot. Heat race 3. Saw they had 48 cars at Cedar Lake. That's pretty good. Oh, by the way, if you're just getting in, you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow on Facebook. Also do stuff on TikTok, Twitter. There's an Instagram account. There's a Threads account, but I've been slacking on the Threads. But if that's where you hang out, let me know. We can maybe do more over there. You can also find The Daily Show wherever you get podcasts. Trying to get to 40,000 YouTube subscribers by year's end. All right, I'm closing out Division for now. We'll come back. Oh, let's see. I'm guessing Dan is asking who I will have for tonight's show at Peevely. I think Larson could be a good one. We know he's won there before. Brad has also won at Peevely before. Shots and Gravel. They're up to 27 cars currently. Corey Day, as expected, on the property. Who else? McFadden. He's going to probably be fast there. So yeah, that should be a fun one. There's actually probably going to be more cars there than I thought there would be. Oh, also at Peevely tonight, Extreme Midgets. Oh, by the way, if you guys are paying attention to the thumbnail, the Caleb Johnson photo that's in the thumbnail is one of Paul's photos. If Paul's still in the chat. I think this music just keeps playing the same song over and over again. I was kind of hoping it was going to be different tracks, but I think it's just the same song. We'll try a different song. We'll do this song. Maybe turn it down a little bit. There we go. Tim McCready wins heat race number 1. Bruning won heat 2. Is the 360 Nationals something you guys are watching? Because obviously the 410 Nationals, there's going to be a ton of focus on that. The 360 Nationals, there's a ton of cars there. But is that something you guys are like actively following? Or are more people going to be paying attention to the Outlaws at Peevely? I'm curious. Billy says he didn't watch last night, and Billy's brother is racing. So there's that. Also, hey, another YouTube channel you guys should go check out. Billy's YouTube channel. Billy does a great job with his stuff. If you're a sprint car person. Hi, Billy. Bobby Pierce, your winner of heat race number 3 over Kay Dillard and Hudson O'Neal. Yeah, I agree with this. And I think the nice thing, too, about the 360 Nationals is you get to see some kind of different names, which I know for a lot of people is not going to be a draw because does anybody know who Caleb Johnson is? Probably not that many unless you're like really deep into it. But yeah, great racing. I was talking about this the other day with somebody, right? About this idea of great racing and I've talked about this on the Daily Show before too, is it's like good racing just is not enough. You have to have the story to go along with the good racing, right? You have to have the big name drivers. You have to have the historic event. You have to have all of this stuff put together, right? It's like if it was only about good racing, then we'd be watching what? Street stocks and, hobby stocks and stuff every week, because really that's probably where there's the most side-by-side beating and banging action every week. But that's not what gets the attention. I did not mean to put that one up. I have no idea why R. Johnson is putting Y. Maybe he can or she can say it in the chat. Billy is over on the Facebook chat. I know it's weird since I'm like streaming multiple places. Like, I don't think you guys see all of the chat messages. So if you're only like on YouTube, you're only going to see the YouTube chat. So that's why I'll try. If I talk about a comment, I'll try to put it on the screen. Cedar Lake, not normally like this, but we don't normally get day shows at Cedar Lake either. It's just because they didn't run last night, so they're running a doubleheader today. All right, I need to get back into the results. I started this because I was trying to put some results in, and now I'm not paying attention to results. So let's do a little bit of that. All right, so we got Creek County in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm entering ASCS results into my database because I've been behind. So we're trying to get caught back up. Because I had to rebuild some of my code to be able to handle the ASCS stuff since it's now World Racing Group. This is spoken like a true person who races all the time. It's like, when you're not racing, do I want to watch racing? I don't know. And this is something I've said lots of places. So like, this isn't like some sort of groundbreaking thing, but like, I don't watch live racing. I just don't. I watch all of the racing. I just don't do it live. I'll go in and watch the stuff that I want to watch in the streaming services on demand. Because if I did watch it all live, I would get a divorce. My wife would leave me. So. Speaking of not watching racing, this is one I haven't watched yet. Since there was no daily show today, I hadn't checked this one out yet. Yeah, see? Billy agrees with me. Sometimes you just got to get away from the racing a little bit if you want to maintain a healthy relationship. Me and Billy on the same page on this one. This is true right here. You can skip past track work. You can skip past, all the cautions. You could just watch the stuff that matters. This is why I like the streaming services and on demand. This is possible. We've certainly talked about this possibility. I just wonder if guys are going to be willing to backtrack to do it. Because I think they're at Sharon before and then the Grove after. So if they didn't do Lernerville on the way from Eldora to the Grove, why would they? I don't know. I think it's possible. It's absolutely possible, especially because so many guys still have some freebies left. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Billy says he's going to be watching a baking show. Billy Dietrich, big British baking show guy. Tyler, I can't keep up with all of your questions, but I think we are definitely getting to a point where an 8-car inversion is too many. And it's like there's no separation of performance now. Like everybody's stuff is so similar. You're forcing guys to make like some pretty insane moves and decisions to try to be able to move forward. So I do think we are probably getting to a point where it might be too steep. Larson is at Peevely. He's at least showing on my race pass. So I don't know if he's not there. I look shorter? Is it just because of the way I'm sitting? I mean, I'm getting older, so I'm probably getting shorter, but I think I'm still 6 feet tall the last time I checked. Billy wants to know if I'm coming to PA this season. Probably not. I don't really have any plans to at the moment. I tried to go to the National Open one year when I still worked in NASCAR. We were at Dover, and I went up early to go see the National Open, and it just rained all weekend. So the only thing I did was went to the racetrack and saw it rain at the Grove, and then we went to Bobby Allen's karting place. That was about the most that we did. Yeah, I don't believe Oskaloosa and the Cappy count against the Outlaws for freebies. They didn't previously. So I don't think they do this year. Those ones are always kind of grandfathered in, included anyway. So I don't know. I mean, that shouldn't change. Yeah, he was on my race pass. Let me get a little refresh here. We're up to 34 cars. Yeah, he's on my race pass as an entry as signed in for tonight. I don't know if the Outlaw social media has posted a photo. I knew they were getting into that with Alex walking around. Baylog, Shoehart. No, I don't. He has not posted Larson yet, but I would imagine it probably won't be too long before he does. The last time I shaved my beard was 2017. My son was still pretty young at that point, and he kind of freaked out. I look like a child when I don't have my beard, so it's probably not going to happen. I have two Sonys. This one is a smaller Sony, and then this one is an A7 II, my Daily Show camera, which this will work. Come on. There it is. So that's the Daily Show camera. So I have two cameras. I have that one. This is a nicer one. And then I bought this one to do for live streams. And then all my grad school stuff is online. So I use this camera for my grad school stuff as well. This one, I don't even remember what that one is. It doesn't say it on there. It's a cheaper Sony though. Yeah, we had a great time at Bobby's go-kart place. Super fun. It was me, Ross Weiss, and Brian Dunlap. And we did the, you have to enter high if you're leading. So just massive slide jobs. And yeah, it was big fun. Master Gasser's just spreading dirty rumors. I did not see that you tagged me on Instagram and something. Did you tag my personal thing, or did you tag Dirt Tracker? I don't see any tagged posts. I must have missed it. Hold, please. I don't see anything on here. Who ends Indiana Sprint Week? I mean, I think it'll be tough for anybody to beat Logan. especially with as good as he has been lately. I might hit on some Super National stuff. The Super National stuff is just hard because, like, I'll probably do a little bit, but this is like always the question. Like, why don't you talk about modifieds? Why don't you talk about 305 sprint cars? It's like, man, like, I go where you guys take me, right? Everybody thinks that I control what you guys are interested in, but I do not do that. I don't have that power. I can talk about all sorts of things, but if you guys don't tune in, it's hard for me to then continue talking about those things because, like, I am trying to run a business here, right? And like, you know, it's not all about money, but you know, I also don't want less people watching the show and listening to the show. I would like more people watching and paying attention to the show. So yeah, like the Super Nationals, it might get some mentions. I'm not going to go super deep on it. I have caught hell for stuff like that in the past. How come go do some work and be a journalist and all that stuff? It's like, okay, yeah, I could do that, but then there's no benefit for me to do that. So, it sucks, right? Like, I wish it wasn't that way. You know, I can't get people to care about non-wing stuff. I can't get people to care. Hell, I can't get people to care half the time about some of the national stuff. So, you know, there are days where I talk about stuff. I mean, I've broken news multiple times in the last couple of weeks, and those are not my best shows. Broke the news about Corey Day doing ARCA, you know, have broken late model news, and it's like, everybody's like, eh. So this is how I'm trying to be. Just not shaving ever. And I don't know how long you guys have been around. Like right now, the beard is pretty tight. But I have had the beard like down to here before. And I used to change tires like that. Like I wore that helmet behind me that I'm pointing at right there. I've worn that helmet with my beard sticking out the bottom. I don't know what Logan's late model schedule is. I know he was supposed to run like 12 to 15. So I don't know. I think he's probably run what, like 6 maybe so far, 6 or 8 to this point. I don't know where they are right now with all of that. See, I start talking, then I forget about the ASCS results again. Breaking news, Zimco will be back at Port Royal tomorrow night. That's good news. That was a nasty deal with that hauler turning over. Arrowhead Speedway. 229. It was June 14th. Brandon wants to know if I'm going to be live for 410 Nationals. I don't know what about future lives. I don't want to schedule things for the lives because I don't always know what my days are looking like. So I kind of like to. It's fun to just pop on and just talk about stuff whenever I feel like it. Especially since like the Daily Show and everything just has like such a rigid schedule. Everybody say bye to Billy. Thank you, Billy, for hanging out. Appreciate you, dude. Make sure you go follow Billy. Watch his videos. Yeah, this is me. Like, I have baby face. The problem is I have no hair. So now I have a baby face with a bald head. So it's just better if I just keep the beard. Kevin has been dealing with some health things. I know there have been some, I don't know if it was surgeries or what, but he's been trying to get better and feel better, I think, which is a big reason why the sprint car hasn't been out. Also, they're trying to build Victory Fuel, which, you know, I know some of you out there have run your own businesses before, but when you do run your own business, it's 24/7. You know, Dirt Tracker is getting bigger, and, you know, the problem with even with what I do is, like, I mean, this is my house. So I could be working on Dirt Tracker things like all the time. And it's really hard to not do that sometimes. So I can understand why the sprint car probably hasn't been out, but yeah, I think it's a combination of the other stuff they have going on plus Kevin's health. And yes, I think Sammy is entered for the Nationals. Actually, I just had that open and then I closed it. I think I saw he was on here. Yes, Sammy is listed. He's on the Wednesday prelim. If you guys missed it, I sponsored modified heat races a couple weeks ago for the Mars Modifieds. Brandon, I used to work with Brandon at World Racing Group. Brandon was our ticketing guy. He started the race, promoted it, and was happy to throw some cash at those guys. I would love to do that stuff more. Just need to get things built a little bit more. Enjoy Williams Grove tonight, Tyler. Hopefully he gets a good show. I do not know Kevin Eckert personally. I certainly know Kevin's work. I do not think RTJ is going to run more races for Rumley. I think this is kind of the last weekend for that. RTJ will be back with the Kohler guys next week for the North-South. I'm not saying it'll never happen again. But yeah, I think it'll be back to the Kohler deal. And this kind of 2-week break was good for them. They can kind of get their stuff together. Now they're bringing in Madden and some new crew guys. They're building a new Longhorn. So they'll be kind of ramped up for that rest of the season on the Lucas side. And in the meantime, it was good for RTJ to go be able to do that with Rumley and still stay sharp and you know, have a chance at some big money. I know RTJ as well is there could potentially be some sprint car stuff coming up, so you may see him do that as well. I don't have any races coming up that I have super solid plans to go to. Next week is my last week of this grad school term, and then I'll be right back into the next grad school term. So the grad school stuff is like a kind of like a part-time job almost. It's, you know, 15, 20 hours a week of work. So it's makes it a little difficult to do some of that extra stuff. I broke the High Limit Australia news on my show. We talked about that actually in January when I first heard about it. And then we broke that story. Oh, when did we break that story? I mean, we broke that story like multiple weeks before it was announced. I did a daily show about that on July 5th. I broke that story. It's nice to have friends in Australia who tell you things. I think USMTS, I mean, at least in terms of pay, you know, that's the closest thing that you've got to a big time modified series like that. You know, I was asking somebody not long ago how many of those guys actually race full time, and it doesn't sound like it's all that many, like maybe only a couple. But it seems like you could maybe make that happen. I don't know what race plans would be. I know there is plans for some testing, and just make sure everything goes right before they would take RTJ to a racetrack. RTJ, obviously, he's run non-wing before. He's run midgets at Chili Bowl. He runs micros all the time. So I can't imagine that it would be a huge leap for him. And I think it obviously has to fit into his schedule as well. So I'm not sure what they would plan in terms of races. Texarkana, Arrowhead. Do you think Pierce will run down Shepard and Hoffman for the Woo Championship? I don't know. I think obviously he's got a good shot. The problem obviously just is the size of the hole that he's in. And even, you know, he's won 5 straight at this point, and he's only gained like 30 or 40 points. And the issue is going to be that Shep and Hoffman are going to continue. Even if they don't win, they're still going to finish top 5 every night. And you just don't make up enough points if you're going to do that. I think it'll be really tough. I think you'll have to see Shepard and Hoffman have like multiple bad nights to really draw him back into the fight. And I don't know that that's a guarantee, right? And it's like, you not only need one of them to struggle, you need both of them to struggle. So I'm not sure that you'll see that. Are we at an hour already? Holy cow. This hour has gone by very quickly. Like the stream. It's free to do that. It's also free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free to follow the Dirt Tracker Facebook page. The Daily Show is available on YouTube, every day on Facebook. So if you're a Facebook person and you just want to stay there, the Daily Show is available there. You can also listen to the Daily Show on all of the major podcast platforms. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify, all of those things. If you want to help out, you can leave positive comments. You can, like I said, subscribe. You can share show links. You can do all of those things. Those are all free ways to help out what I'm doing. If you want to get involved monetarily, that's available as well. Like Race at J, he just wanted to give me $10. That's great. Much appreciated. You can be a channel member for a couple dollars a month. There's also Dirt Tracker Plus. There's merch. So I'm certainly not asking anyone to do that. If you would like to do that, that's great. But lots of free ways to be able to support what I'm doing. And obviously I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for all of the people that are watching right now and chatting and all of the things. Brandon wants to know, I'm guessing he means on the hot seat. Sprint car silly season is starting to kind of ramp up a little bit. There's definitely there's some rumblings of some stuff potentially happening. So I would kind of stay tuned for the next couple of months. Rumors about teams switching series, rumors about a couple of drivers might be changing rides, guys being elevated, that haven't previously run a series before are looking at doing that. There's going to be one that is announced at the Knoxville Nationals next week. There are things coming. It's, we had a wild and crazy season in 2023, and there's no way that 2024 was going to be like that again. But there are definitely some things happening. I have no idea. The problem is, and this is true, like if you do social media things or if you do content things, you can't get audiences to move. Like I have 21,000 followers on TikTok. They don't come to YouTube to watch my videos. They don't come to Facebook. People are where they are. So I would not expect people to move. Bryce wants to know when I started Dirt Tracker. I started Dirt Tracker in 2019. Dirt Tracker was just the website in the beginning, dirttracker.com. It was a final project for a computer science class that I was taking at the time when I worked for World Racing Group. And then later I started the YouTube channel and the Daily Show. All that stuff, the Daily Show started in 2020. Which I think is the funny thing, right? Is people see where the show is at now, and I've done 11.5 million YouTube views and all of this stuff. Nobody remembers 2020 when I was doing shows and getting 7 views on YouTube. And the show sucked. It was not good. I do not think anybody is going to catch Brad Sweet for the High Limit Championship. Brad is not, or at least doesn't appear to be very happy right now with how he's run. Brad has not won a race in a very long time. Brad is still very far out in front of the championship because Brad Sweet is maybe the greatest points racer ever. Which is why he's so difficult to beat, because he's just going to finish top 5, top 7, top 8 every single night. Brad doesn't crash. That team is very well prepared. They don't have DNFs. They don't have mechanical issues often. When they do struggle, they can recover. So no, I don't think anybody's going to catch him. I keep starting this ASCS feature to see lap leaders, and then I get into a tangent and then I'm not writing down who is leading laps. Feature results. What else? What other questions do you guys have? Jesters wants to know who's my pick to win the Knoxville Nationals. It's David Gravel. He's on a heater right now. He knows how to win at Knoxville. Todd Quiring wants to win the Nationals. They'll have a lot of motivation. A dark horse to win the Knoxville Nationals. The Knoxville Nationals isn't, especially lately, isn't a dark horse type crown jewel event. You got to have big power. You got to have trimmed out stuff to win the Knoxville Nationals. So, you know, I don't know that you're going to see somebody, you know, a Scott Boguski or a Chase Randall or somebody like that jump up and win that race. I mean, even the guys that run Knoxville weekly, they won't be in the mix. I mean, you'll have guys make the feature, right? You know, your Austin McCarls and some of those guys will be respectable, but that's really the big teams. Speaking of my Open Red co-host, Ross Weiss, everybody say hi to Ross. Mel wants to know what I think of restarting the races on the backstretch like they do at Skagit. Like I always forget that they do that, and then when you go watch like the Dirt Cup or something like that, and then you see it, and you're like, why? And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they start on the backstretch. I don't really think it makes all that big of a difference. It's definitely a little jarring at first, but yeah, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. John wants to know I'm studying in grad school. I'm studying data science, machine learning, things like that. Brian wants to know how many spots does Pierce have to beat Shepard and Hoffman by for the remainder of the season? Well, Brandon, let's go see what the official gap is at the moment. Pierce trails Sheppy by 104. So that's 2 points per position. So you're looking at 52 spots. The problem is I don't know how many of the races left are actually points paying nights. I think I said on the show the other day, there's like 18 races left. If that's what it is, if it's 18 races, he's got to beat them by 3 spots a night. But I think it's probably less than that. It's probably like 15 or 16 are points paying nights. There is a reasonable chance that Ross has already been to the cattleman's tent at least once, potentially more than that. So yes. This is just like bad vibes. Running out of fuel in a heat race. I mean, I get you're trying to get your, you know, as light as possible, but that's not good. Ross says they're not open yet? Oh no. How does Cattleman's not open for 360 Nationals? That's terrible. And here I am not paying attention again to the ASCS race that I'm supposed to be watching for lap leaders. Let's see. Hayford Teep led. There is, so what do you lead? 17? 1 through 17. Seth Bergman led 18. There we go. Yeah, it's not impossible for Pierce to catch him for sure. And you know, there's still a reasonable chance he does it. I just think it's going to be tough. Oh, Harry says there's not enough volunteers. That's why Cattleman's not open this week. Maybe Ross should volunteer to run it. Then he could have some. Hi, Donald. Ross is starting corn fights in the chat. Does everybody agree with Ross? I got involved in dirt racing on a professional level in 2013 when I went to work for World Racing Group. But the first races I ever went to as a kid were dirt races. So I've been going to dirt races a long time. My dad was a dirt racer. So I spent almost 20 years changing tires in NASCAR, but not just a NASCAR guy. Can we help out Brad here? Where do people stay for the Knoxville Nationals? Des Moines, Knoxville, Newton. What do we think? Drop your Knoxville Nationals travel recommendations into the chat. Jesse wants to know if I would do a late model beard series. We've been talking about beards too much. Build series, like I did with Hampton and the sprint car. I absolutely would. But somebody would have to build one and then film it. And then give me all of the footage like Zach did. Because Zach did all the work there. All I did was take his footage and just edit it and then put it on my YouTube channel. But Zach did all the hard work. I did, though, just not long ago. I met Austin Kirkpatrick, who, if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, Austin does some cool stuff. He's seems like very mad scientist-y about his late model builds. I would definitely like to do something with him. All right, so what have we got here for Knoxville? So Jim says stay in Altoona. Brian says he's camping at Kading's Corner. John says to rent a camper and be in one of the parking areas. And Nathan says Marshalltown. So it seems as though you have lots of options. More corn fighting in the chat. Other than Graveler shots, name 3 others who you think might win. Kyle Larson, Corey Day, or Rico. Tim McCready on the pole today. Pierce 2nd, Max 3rd, Squirrel 4th, Hoffman 5th, Tyler Bruning 6th. Kyle, I expect you to just pay attention to what I'm doing at all times. Like, you just need to be refreshing all the time. Get your stick on the ice, Kyle. I like how we've been getting more onboard stuff. Flo's been doing some onboards. The Outlaw social media accounts just posted a Tyler Bruning onboard from the heat race. I like that. It's actually kind of a neat view of Bruning, kind of looking back in his face there. I like that. I did not see that there was a radar gun at Williams Grove. Be like really fast down the straightaways and really slow in the corners. Dylan wants to talk about Northeast Mod Racing. He wants me to get everybody to tune out of my live stream currently. But Dylan thinks there are too many people watching the live stream. So we should talk about mod racing to get everybody to tune out. Ryan, if you just buy the black shirts that I have right now on the screen right there, you don't have to worry about getting stains out of them because they're black. So just buy that shirt right there. These shirts are on sale right now for $25. I've seen people talking about, this one, that apparently My Race Pass is doing live audio. I have not seen that, but oh, here we go. Not the state of Northeast Mod Racing, the state of Nebraska Mod Racing. You're really trying to get me to get people to tune out. Oh, the local radio station? I'm not sure about that one. I'll let the experts in the chat here talk about that. I'll let you guys can talk about mods in the chat all you want. Hi, Justice from Central PA. Welcome. Steve, to be fair, there's a site that does this. You don't have to do all the Northeast modified stats. What is that website? Northeast mods. It is nemodfacts.racestatcentral.com. All of the modified statistics, results you can handle. I don't know who runs this site, but they do a great job. Dennis Clapperton. Lots of good stuff there, though. So you wanted me to talk about modifieds on here, but you couldn't even make it through an Area Auto article about it? Come on. Come on. That's funny too. I mean, to be fair with Unzicker, like there's money to be made up there at Merritt. It's probably surprising that more guys don't go there. Oh yeah, this week at Knoxville is all 360s. 360 Knoxville Nationals this week. 410s will be there Sunday for the Cappy, and then the Knoxville Nationals. 410 Nationals start next Wednesday. I've never been to the Knoxville Nationals. I've been to Iowa Speedway a lot of times. I've won races at Iowa Speedway. I don't know that anybody's doing a lot of this. I know. Didn't Dirt Vision do this for like a hot second? Like Dirt Zone or something? I can't remember. I'm sure this is coming though. To be fair, people have tried to get me to come to all sorts of races. Knoxville, Eldora, modified stuff, lots of things. Okay, Ross says they still do Dirt Zone every Friday and Saturday night, so there you go. Again, I don't watch the racing live, so I wouldn't know about things like this. I was not driving at Iowa Speedway. I was pitting at Iowa Speedway. Trucks, Xfinity cars, ARCA cars, things like that. I'm a big Briggs Danner fan. Briggs does not get enough attention nationally, obviously because he runs non-wing cars. But I think Briggs is definitely a star in the making. If dirt racing was in the Olympics, which car would it be? Mini mods. Easy to ship. What's the scariest incident I've had on pit road? I've been on fire 3 times. I I think I have photos on my Instagram. Let me see if I can find. Here's one of them. I don't know if you can see. There's one fire. Let's see. Where are the other fire photos? I have a lot of stuff on my Instagram, which is funny because I haven't posted there in like 2 years. Oh, here's another one. That was when I was on Casey Mears' car. And there's one more. Here we go. Actually, this isn't really me on fire. That's the gas man on fire. I don't know what CV's future plans are, like what his aspirations are. I feel like if he wants to have like a career like where he makes money, it's got to be winged sprint cars or super late models. Like the midgets and the non-wing stuff is great, but we will not be addressing the Ricky Weiss situation until there is at least something solid. It's one thing to speculate about ride swapping and series news and things like that, but when it involves criminal things and legal action, and there's just no value in that. And honestly, that's like if it turns into something where it's notable, then it'll probably get touched on. But I mean, for the most part, things that happen off the racetrack, like in that way, are not ever going to be my focus. I don't care about people's personal lives. I don't care about wives and girlfriends and who's not friends with who anymore. And I don't care about any of those things. There are lots of other places on the interwebs where you can find that stuff. That will not be with me. And here I am again, forgetting that I was putting in results. How long until Corey days in Xfinity or Cup? Full time? I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see Corey doing an Xfinity race or truck races maybe this year. Obviously, that wouldn't be on a full-time basis. But yeah, I do think you'll see him in NASCAR very, very soon. I was a big Casey Mears fan. Like one of the cooler drivers I worked for in my career. And I've worked for a lot of drivers. Mears actually seemed to care about us. I worked for lots of drivers who didn't know my name, which I think is weird. But yeah, I liked Mears. I just got your text message, Ross. By the way, Chase, what are you doing right now? Are you just off? If you're still in the chat. If you see me zone out for a second, it's because I'm looking for things for my website. Because the point of this is I was going to turn this on and talk while I put results in. Do I not have the other Tri-State Speedway in the database? I don't think I do. That's not good. I'm trying to get caught up on ASCS results because I have been slacking on getting those into the database at dirttracker.com. So I started working on that today. But now I'm realizing I don't have the track. I definitely think Emerson Axum has a great chance to win the 360 Knoxville Nationals. For sure. He has been very good. I think Axum is like one of the stories of 410 sprint car racing this year. For him to just kind of jump in. All right, we got to go find Tri-State Speedway details. Not Hobstadt, but the one in Oklahoma. Do they not have a phone number? Rodman says, headed to Knoxville Sunday, but I've been golfing, making videos, and trying to track down number file fonts for new magnets on the whiteboard. I feel like Hess can't be involved with the whiteboard anymore. You need to find like a foldable whiteboard that you can put like in your bag or something. Or like hide it like in the merch trailer or something. Joshua wants to know how many hours a day do I spend making an episode? Probably 4 to 5. Probably 4. I'm usually working by 8 or 8:30, and then you guys see what time the shows come out. Sometimes it's 11:30 or noon. Sometimes it's 2. It kind of just depends on how things go. It's not always it's easier on the days when I know what I'm going to talk about. But if I'm scraping for topics, it'll take me longer. I do think there is a shot Axum is full-time with a series next year. I think he'd be a fun one to add. For sure. By the way, the infield at Michigan International Speedway is like Talladega. Nobody ever talks about it, but it gets wild in the infield at Michigan. If you are looking for that kind of thing and you're in the area and you want to have fun at a racetrack, Michigan, pretty lit. All right, what else do I need here? We need website. Is Bryce Lucius a potential outlaw next year? I don't think so. That's not one of the names that I have heard floating around. I think he's probably a little ways off. He probably needs a little bit more experience before you see him make a move. What else do we see? What is a dirt track that I have never been to that is definitely number one on my bucket list? I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of dirt tracks. The dirt tracks I've been to include the defunct Medford Speedway, Southern Oregon Speedway. I've been to Volusia, Golden Isles, obviously the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's like 4 miles from where I sit right now. I've been to Williams Grove. Where else have I been? Not that many places. So Knoxville, Eldora. Yeah, I mean, you name it, I would like to go. This is, I talked about this earlier. This is not one of the names that I have heard is doing it. That doesn't mean it's not happening. But in talking to people the last couple of days about who the outlaw teams, who the outlaw rookies could be for next year, Tanner's name is not one that I've heard. You know, we talked about Logan McCandless and Danny Sams on the show. There's another one that's going to likely be announced next week at Knoxville. That is not Tanner Holmes, but is another driver with West Coast ties. So yeah, but there's lots of names being thrown around for both series. Drivers potentially moving. It will definitely be, you know, some stories to follow here the second half of the season. Three eighths. So 243. This was on June 15th. Yeah, this is definitely another one that I need to get to. Austin McCarl was a driver that was actually kind of in some of the rumors this year about potentially doing high limit. I don't know if that would still be something they would be interested in. I think they certainly have the resources to do it. I know that for them and like a lot of teams, crew help is a problem. So we'll see. But that's not a name that I have heard recently. The last time I had heard them in being involved in national tour talks was before this season. I need to put the thinking emoji face on for this one. There are rumors about Roth. We don't know about James McFadden's situation, right? Like he obviously got trapped in Australia this last year. You know, and as his son gets older, is he going to want to continue coming here to race full time? I don't know that that's going to be the case. So I think McFadden could be a question mark going forward. So we'll see. And if McFadden isn't full time, does Roth keep 2 cars going? Do they, you know, do they hire somebody else? Do they go back to kind of one West Coast car, one national touring car? I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of question marks right now about what that would happen, or, you know, what would happen with Roth. Bergman won that one. Bergman through Davis. Guest. Fertitte through Harley, White, Covington, Brady, Bergman, Langford. Okay. All right, what other questions you guys got? I think we'll probably call it at 2 hours. We're at an hour 42 right now. So if you guys have other things you would like to talk about or other questions, I know we are very close to starting the first feature at Cedar Lake. Sounds like we are on the 10-minute horn. Oh yeah, here you go, 10-minute horn. Oh yeah, Larson confirmed at I-55. The Outlaws just posted on Twitter a picture of the Finley Farms, Paul Silva, Fulkins Brothers Trucking 57. If you guys don't follow Paul Arch on Twitter, he's at PArch1010. He was actually in the chat here not that long ago. He's now walking around Knoxville taking pictures of the cars in tonight's field. Who do I got for the feature? We'll go Pierce. He's starting on the front row. I know we're still waiting on McCready to win with Rocket. I just kind of don't think that happens today. I think Pierce is going to continue the winning ways. Obviously, Kyle agrees with me. By the way, merch, as you can see on the screen here, shop.dirttracker.com. We have new sprint car shirts that we got in. Actually, let me go. I'll go grab one. Hold, please. All right, here you go. Does that look like it looks on the screen? This is an XL. Ready to ship right now. $25, shop.dirttracker.com. Chris wants to know if I miss being on the road. That is like one of the things that I do not miss is the travel. I don't miss the kind of politics bullshit stuff. I don't miss the travel. I do miss the competition. I do miss the guys. I miss the grind. I loved practice and workouts and all of that stuff. Those are definitely things I miss. I do not miss the travel. That is definitely one of the things I don't miss. I also don't miss, not going to my kids' baseball games on the weekend and, my wife going to weddings by herself, things like that. Which is one of the reasons why I don't go to a lot of dirt races now, is because it's kind of not fair to them. Dylan just wants me to talk about Northeast Modifieds. He wants me to do it. And I just don't know that we can. I have not heard anything about them being sold. Aren't they changing the engine rule? Weren't they going 410 racing now? They're not going to do 360s anymore? Okay, Dylan says the USAC East Coast was sold. I had not seen that news. Is that posted somewhere? USAC East Coast. Well, their race for tonight is canceled. Dylan says it was in Area Auto. I missed that one. My son is into racing a little bit. My wife is not into racing at all. I've said this before, but when I worked in NASCAR, my wife didn't know who I worked for half the time or what driver I had. She could not care less about racing. Chris wants to know if I've ever driven a sprint car. I have not. The only racing I've ever done is drag racing, which is this trophy right here is a drag racing trophy. Right here. Joe B at Peevely tonight. I like Joe B's car. The 51B is always easy to find. I like his car. I also like, if you haven't seen it too, the car that, or the wrap that Fager is running this week. And I think he ran it last week too at Fairbury. Big fan. What did I ignore? Oh, the second part about driving a sprint car? No, I don't need to get in a sprint car. I'm good. We'll leave that to the pros. I don't need to hurt myself. Philip wants to know what team I worked for in NASCAR. It's more like what teams did I not work for in NASCAR? I worked for Roush multiple times. I worked for Petty multiple times. I worked at Germain. I won Truck Series championships with William Byron and Sheldon Creed. What else? You can kind of see some of my stuff back here. This is the champion hat from from Sheldon Creed. I don't know if you can see him. These are like some of my rings right here. I pitted for Colleague for a long time. I worked for Bubba. This is when we finished second at the Daytona 500. And Australian people. Here you go. Marcus Ambrose. I pitted for him. I won Talladega with David Reagan. Actually, and if you look right there, this is a Sunoco checkered flag, and that right there is David Reagan's signature. Chris says I wouldn't get hurt. I don't believe you, Chris. I do not believe you. Kyle wants to know if I still have my Chevelle. I do not. I actually sold my Chevelle. The Chevelle had been in a storage unit for a very long time, and it was finally time for the Chevelle to get gone. I had lots of plans for the Chevelle, but they were not they were not going to come to fruition anytime soon. Some of the Freddie stories that I have, I don't know that I could share on a YouTube live. I love Freddie though. Freddie is good people. I still try to text with Freddie periodically. I like him. Thank you for sticking up for me. You don't have to do that. That's not necessary. I don't know that you can compare what me and Chase are doing, though. Very different situations. And the beauty of content creation is we're not really competing. And like, I will help Chase out as much as I can because I like that Chase is doing things on YouTube. And I like his vibe, like with the whiteboard. Chase is very knowledgeable. So yeah. I'm a Chase Rodman fan. I've known Chase. Like I was messaging with Chase before he was even doing Dirt Vision stuff years ago. I actually watched Chase's dad race when I was young. Because Chase's dad was a badass late model racer out west. Actually, late model racer and Winston West. Bernie hasn't had the 71 out a ton this year. They did some Maverick stuff, I think, with KTJ. But Bernie's been crew chiefing for some other people. So yeah, I think that's probably why. Obviously, and Bernie's car is never going to be out all that much anyway, just because he's trying to run the business. Bernie races when he can. I don't know what Chase's like athletic skills are, but Chase is dramatically taller than me. Like, I feel like I'm a fairly tall guy at 6 foot, but Chase is way taller than me. So he'd probably like dunk on me or something. $39 cars at Peevely. That is good. Nice field there. Carter Sarf. Obviously, Brad. We talked about Brad earlier. Danny Sams. Newman. Joe B. Timez. McFadden. Larson. Ayrton Jeniton. Gas. Day. Brian Bell. Got a nice field at Peevely. I'm surprised. That's more than I thought they'd have. For sure. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it. Rico is a good favorite to have. Rico is one of my favorite people in dirt racing. He's a hell of a racer, and he's just like a really good guy. Big Rico fan as well. Dylan says, was Danny Sam's Ohio Speed Week a flash in the pan? I do not think so. I definitely think that Danny has some talent. Obviously, Danny is going to be, lacking resources compared to some of the other teams that he's racing against. But I do think Danny is talented, and you've seen that elsewhere, right? Like, obviously he won during Ohio Sprint Speed Week, but he's run good a lot of other places also. He ran top 10 in his prelim night with High Limit at Eldora. He's run good in other fast shows. He's run respectable against the Outlaws. I definitely think Danny is there for sure. We talked about this earlier. This is all going to depend on Kevin's health. Kevin, if you follow Kevin on Twitter, you've seen that he's been kind of going through some stuff, trying to feel better and just be generally healthier. But that and running Victory Fuel is, those are big reasons why you haven't seen the sprint car out. I know they wanted to do some stuff with Logan this year. I don't know if that'll happen or not. Do I think that Sammy has a shot at what next weekend? Do you mean to win the Knoxville Nationals? I do not. If Sammy was like in a higher, like if Sammy was like in a B, I think that would be massive. All right, last couple minutes. If you've got questions, if there's things you want me to talk about, let me know. Because we're going to begin to wind it down. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours. Absolutely. Dirt Tracker. Here's where we are, just kind of a general status update of Dirt Tracker, right? So Dirt Tracker makes a full-time income for me now. Obviously, the Kubota stuff has been massive for that. But I also did Dirt Tracker for 14 months, posting shows every single day before I made a single dollar. I just like doing it. I'm going to continue doing it. I don't know. I get this question a lot where it's like, you know, what do you see in 5 years for dirt? Like, I have no idea. I didn't know that it would be where it is right now before. So we'll just keep digging. But yes. Welcome, Gaston. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new around here, we have a daily show that we do 5 days a week where we talk about dirt racing. I'm not far away from you in Lancaster, South Carolina. I'm in the Charlotte area. Tanner Holmes will not win the Knoxville Nationals. I would put money on that. And I like Tanner. I'm a Tanner fan. Me and Tanner are from basically the same place in Oregon. But winning the Knoxville Nationals, like we talked about earlier, that's not something you just see anybody jump up and do. Looks like we just went green at Cedar Lake, by the way, with the first feature of the USA Nationals. Why do I think Power Eye gets overlooked or downplayed amongst sprint car teams? Does it get downplayed? I don't know about that. High Limit is in its first year, right? Like High Limit's going to go some places and there's going to be big crowds, and High Limit's going to go other places and they're not going to be big crowds. They are trying to learn and figure it out as they go. So it's going to take them some time before it really catches, I think. I don't think Wagaman is a surprise in Central PA. He's been coming on for a while. Now, like if you pay attention to what's going on in sprint car racing there, like you're not shocked by what Wagaman is doing. Speaking of things that are not surprising. All right. Last call. Then we're going to shut her down. What do we got? Questions? Comments? What do we think? If you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow Dirt Tracker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. What else? Merch. Shop.dirttracker.com right here. These are the new sprint car shirts. I will ship you one right now. If you are a Kubota person, get the My Kubota app. I actually have the My Kubota app on my phone. I don't have any Kubota equipment because I don't have a yard or anything big enough to do it. But there you go. My Kubota app right there. Yeah. Kubota, great people, great equipment. Check them out. Kubota has all sorts of stuff too, by the way. Like you can get like garden tractors from Kubota all the way up to excavators and big ag tractors. Lots of cool stuff from Kubota. So check them out. Get the My Kubota app if you are a Kubota user. You can track your equipment there, do all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Darren wants to know if I'm going to World Finals. I'm sure I will make my way out to World Finals. I would be embarrassed if I didn't go to World Finals because it's so close to my house. William wants to know if I'm going to do a live show next week. I'm not going to commit to live shows. We'll just pop them up whenever we feel like it. But anyway, we will call it good for there today. That's 2 hours of live. Enjoy the dirt racing weekend. USA Nationals going on literally right now as we talk. Bobby Pierce leading up there. 360 Nationals at Knoxville. You've got a big field of sprint cars at Peevely for Ironman 55 with the Outlaws. And lots of other regional action going on. Yeah. Hope everybody has a good weekend. We'll be back Sunday with a fresh daily show. So we'll call it good. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody participating in the chat. Thanks everybody for the super chats and all of the other stuff. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.